Hey everybody, Jamie Kelly here, and you are watching the Otherworldly Fundraising channel. This is one of the videos from the 2024 online fan convention. We had a lot of fun talking to a wide range of people, actors, writers, cosplayers, you name it, about all kinds of topics. We had a great time, and we know that you're going to get a big kick out of it. The 2024 Otherworldly Fundraising season has been for MomBomb, which is a great organization helping mothers and some fathers who are in distress. It's a great charity, and we were more than happy to help them out. So if you would like to give, check out the information down below. And thank you all so very much. And now, on with the show.
Awesome. Welcome.
Hi. Thank you. I'm a little crooked.
That's okay. Thanks for being here. It's so lovely to meet you.
Oh, thanks for having me. I'm excited to be here.
Yes. So we have our audience watching on Facebook and YouTube. And if you guys have any questions that are watching, let us know in the comments and we'll put them on the screen. To those that don't know you, I'll just do a little intro. You're a host, a speaker, a voice artist, an advocate for multiculturalism. And you just seem like a really awesome person. So I appreciate you donating your time and being here today. I love that you have Rainbow Bright in your bio there. You know what the people want. We like to do a mix of questions that I've prepared and what the audience comes up with, which is always fun. And I like that. I think Trevor said this earlier. You're welcome to take any tangents you like. We're good with that too. The first question I've been asking, and I think this is always fun because Kristen, our fearless leader, does a great job of getting folks from different industries and just different experiences. But if you could give a little elevator pitch for your work, what would that be? You know, your kind of TikTok length intro.
Oh my goodness. That's so hard because I'm not really, it depends on who the audience is and what I'm approaching, what Totally. It is that I do, because I've grown up in the entertainment industry. I started when I was, my sister and I started modeling in New York when we were like 2. And then we moved to California, and I assumed that it was because I was supposed to start my entertainment career. And so at the, lovely age of, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 years old, I started working in commercials and in voiceover. And I was discovered by Andy Hayward, the founder of Deke Animation, and kind of became his girl for the 80s. And so I voiced the voice of Lucy Little on The Littles on ABC, and we were up against the Smurfs. and then I went on to do the Get Along Gang. I was Dottie Dog, and then I was the iconic Rainbow Bright. We did her film, and we did a series of storybook records, and we did a series of Disney records. I have a couple gold albums with Disney from doing a lot of singing with them on their children's records and Rainbow Bright records. I have never stopped. My whole voiceover career spanned my whole lifetime. So, then you've got the Rugrats and, all these miscellaneous cartoon characters here and there. I also launched the Ba-da-ba-ba-ba, I'm Loving It campaign. You had a Dottie Dog Christmas stocking. Yay. I love that. I also do the voice match for Jada Pinkett Smith when she does Gloria the Hippo. So I'm Gloria the Hippo, many, many places that you hear her on the Royal Caribbean cruise ships, at SeaWorld, on the video games. And I'm on Ben 10. Just tons of fun stuff that people love. And then I also have had a career as a singer stemming off of my children's records. I started writing in Nashville and did a lot of songwriting, a lot of publishing. I went on tour, opened for all kinds of great acts, Smash Mouth and Gretchen Wilson and Hootie and the Blowfish and all kinds of great people, and had a wonderful run on the Billboard charts. I won something called American Idol Underground, and had a song that hit the top 10 on Billboard, and then I released a follow-up song. And so lots of different things, and lots of fun. I've been so blessed to have such a long and rewarding career. And then I, delved into the motherhood space when I became a mom and started hosting Parenting Magazine Live radio show. And then that spun into Working Mother Radio. And so I've gotten to interview some of the most amazing people, Garcelle Beauvais and Kyle Richards, and lots of those moms that are famous that, you want to hear from, how they juggle it, how they do it. I've gotten to be on a lot of national TV shows, the Today Show, and what else? I don't know. There's a lot. I love every second of it. And now I've delved into becoming a published author, and I'm working on a children's book with Keyshawn Johnson, and a children's record to a musical album to accompany with it. So that's what's in the works now.
That's amazing. I love that. I know us like organizers and producers behind the scenes were saying it's so lovely. You have so many crossovers with, the shows and animation and music that our fans love. And it's so special too, because our charity this year really is focusing on helping moms that need support. That, you're very experienced, and you've got a lot to bring to in the field of parenting and entertainment. So that is such a cool crossover. You kind of mentioned this, and I'm curious for you to maybe expand more on it. So was getting into the entertainment industry, was that something you really wanted as a kid? Was it kind of a mix with you and your parents? I know everyone's story is a little different for how they kind of got that bug.
It's so interesting. It just was asked that question by someone else. And I really did grow up with a lot of kids who had a different angle on that and a different story. I grew up with a lot of kids who were in your living room every single day. And, I still am in touch with a few of them. But I was one of those kids who it was self-driven. My parents were not going to get in my way. I was going to do this. I was nothing near a nepotism baby. There was nobody in my family who was anywhere near the industry. So it was, figure it out. I remember getting like a big Yellow Pages book and like the giant book like in like retro movies. And and trying to find an agent because I wanted to be on TV. And so clearly my parents were supportive, which is huge, because my mom kind of had to drop everything to follow my lead. And she so graciously did. And, and it led to being a full-time job for her because I worked so much. And I was, really blessed to be in a position where at a time when mixed kids, I'm mixed race, I'm Black, Native American, and Polynesian, and mixed race kids weren't really represented very much on camera. And I would go to auditions and I would get all the way to the end, and then they'd be like, well, she couldn't really fit with the family because we cast 2 Black actors, or we cast, 2 Native American actors, or, I didn't fit in the visual. And thankfully, voiceover was there. And so I was able to still be a successful artist and still make, a career and a living doing what I loved. Although I would have loved for it to have been on screen as equally as off screen. I adore voiceover. I have loved every minute of it. I'm so grateful for it. And that also allowed me to sing, which was, such a blessing, because that was one of those unstoppable things inside me too, was the music. And I loved songwriting. I just write music. I just can't not. It's just something that I do, and it keeps me healthy as a human. It's mental health, especially, it just helps you get everything out. Some people have their own different outlets, and mine is that. And so, the singing, being able to evolve from doing children's records that were accompanying my characters to writing my own music, singing on the background on scores. I sang on the background of like Scrooged, that Christmas movie with Bill Murray, all these funny things that, nobody would suspect. You've been hearing me your whole life. Trust me, you just have no idea. I've been a part of it all along. But I will say, I also did the original My Little Pony and Friends. I was Megan when they back when they embraced people being part of the situation. And we had 65 episodes, and I sang 65 songs, a song per episode. And that was oh, Kristen, you're so sweet. Thank you. And I have to say though, my favorite character, because I get asked that a lot, is Rainbow Bright, only because Rainbow Bright has resonated with so many people across the generations, and she's become symbolic to a lot of people who didn't have a lot of hope. And I get people reach out to me. You'd be shocked how many people reach out to me saying thank you for Rainbow Bright and her positive message, and for making people feel like they were enough, making people feel like every color of the rainbow matters, no matter what that means to you. And I 100% embrace that and support that. And I'm so glad that she provided a safe haven for a lot of kids who needed that.
That's so beautiful. Yeah, I think that means a lot to so many fans. A kind of a question that's piggybacking off this a little bit. Is there an advantage that singing has given you as a voice actor or vice versa?
Absolutely. Yes. It's funny enough, when I was voicing Rainbow Bright, and I was I think I was maybe 10 at the time, they were separately casting Disney, Buena Vista Records. This is before Disney started the record label. This is predating the Mickey Mouse Club. Like I came just before those guys. They were auditioning singers to sing on the Rainbow Bright records. And thankfully, Andy was like, well, did anybody check to see if Bettina can sing?
Right.
And so I happened to be in the studio voicing something, and they're like, hey, do you have a favorite song? Can you sing Happy Birthday? I was like, what? This is so random. And little did they know, I've been doing musical theater my whole life. I was a very professionally trained singer. And so I was like, I guess I can sing Happy Birthday. So I sing Happy Birthday. And they're like, okay, can you sing another song? Maybe something from like Annie or something. So I busted out Tomorrow, and they were like, okay, casting over. So I was like, why are they asking me this? And my mom is back in the booth, and I can't hear anything. And I'm just watching all of this chatter go back and forth, and they're like, oh, we're all done. We don't have to worry about this anymore. And then I come out, and my mom's like, so you're going to be singing on your first record. And I was like, I was so excited. And the fact that she did a Christmas album, Mariah Carey may call herself the Queen of Christmas, but she's got competition. I love the holidays. I love Halloween. I love Christmas. I love Easter. I love all of the holidays. We do Hanukkah. We do everything. And I love the holidays. And so when she did her own album and she had her own original Christmas song, I was just so floored and so grateful and so blessed. And I actually wrote my own Christmas song called An American Christmas and released that. And that comes out every Christmas time and gets played on a bunch of satellite radio stations, and people will bring it out, and there's a music video on my website. But I just that was my first foray into an actual situation where I was with a record company making an album, and it was amazing.
That's so special. I know Kristen is saying here, what nice thoughts as we celebrate the 40th anniversary of Rainbow Bright. I wanted to ask this next question too. Steph and I are thinking the same thing. So coming from musical theater, do you have a favorite musical? We have such a big musical theater nerd audience. So.
Oh my gosh. I was a theater major at Pepperdine. And I am and my daughter is a musical theater dork as well. Like we just nerd out all the time. I mean, she's an amazing person. She's not a dork, but I dork out completely. But it's funny because there's so many new musicals that I love. It's hard to choose because I tend to go back to the OGs. But oh God, that's a tough one.
It can be your favorite at the moment,
My favorite at the moment. I should show you the picture. I just did a jigsaw puzzle that was all playbills of musical. Like that's. Yes. I mean, you guys are like right in my wheelhouse here. I would say at the moment I'm so excited for Wicked for the movie that I've been listening to the soundtrack over and over and over again. My son and I, we will recite Hamilton from start to finish over and over and over again. He became obsessed with it when he was 8 years old, and he's about to turn 13 this week. And we took him for his birthday to go to San Francisco to see it, and we stood back at that line and got everything signed and all that. But I love Six. I love the attitude, the women's empowerment. I love all that. But then like the classics, like when I was growing up, I used to do a medley of all the songs from Evita. And Evita was my jam. But way before Madonna ever even had heard of her, I was like singing her start to finish. The first musical that I ever went to and the first one that I ever starred in was The Wiz.
Oh, and amazing.
I love The Wiz. I saw it on Broadway when I was 4 years old. And then I starred in it when I was 14.
That is so amazing. And that tour is coming up again soon, too.
Yes, we just saw it at the Pantages, and it was fantastic. We saw a great cast. But yeah, I could talk musical theater all day.
I love that. Well, and this is a similar question. How do you feel? Because I love that you've worked in not only a bunch in the entertainment industry, but in different fields too, with theater and voiceover and singing. It's really amazing to have that kind of triple threat, the situation. What do you feel like the audition process is? Where were they maybe similar, or where were they kind of different, depending on if it was, okay, this is a voice actor thing, this is a song thing, this is a theater thing? Was it auditions, or were they kind of different?
Everything is technically completely different, and it's all a different set of skills. And I fell short of fully answering that other question about how did one help the other. I feel like both have helped in different ways. I feel like voiceover helped my music career because the fan base was already there, and I already had people asking me to make an album that was a Bettina album rather than a character album. So when that album came, they were already there supporting it, which was just amazing, and I couldn't be more grateful for them. Fans are incredible people. Like, they really just, the unconditional support that you get is, it's really surreal to think that people care enough to want to do that for you, want to lift you up, and want to lift up your projects. It's really amazing. So thank you to anybody who's ever done that for me, or anybody who, is here today and wants to know what I have going on. It's really sweet. But yeah, the audition process is totally different for every skill. For voiceover, it's now gotten to a place where you need to be your own sound engineer. You need to be able to know how to make yourself sound professional. You need to know how to edit. You need to know how to direct yourself. And those are skills that are not easy to master. And I fully encourage people who are interested in that to take a class from someone reputable, because I've seen people with the best of intentions not make the best first impression because they weren't properly trained. And, you only get one shot at making your first impression. And these are talented people, but it's never been before a time in the industry where you had to be the tech as well as the talent. So definitely, take the time to get trained properly on how to do those things. Whereas in musical theater, you're bringing the whole picture, the whole package. You're dressing the part, you're feeling the part, you're commanding the stage. That's very different from commanding a microphone and making sure that you're not popping your P's and you're being more nuanced. And people can't see your face, so you have to make sure your inflections, everything that you do, you have no gestures, you have no eye contact. There's nothing to support your communicating the emotion other than your voice. Whereas with musical theater, you have every tool in your arsenal at your disposal. And it's, that's just let it fly, be as uninhibited as possible, have as much fun as you can. And that will inform a good voiceover performance, really, is being able to let it all fly and let it all be uninhibited and just be technically correct with it. And then with music, that's just, I think there's nothing more important than connecting with the material and, being able to move somebody with your musicality. I think people listen to music because they want to feel. And for me, it's about being able to invoke that and being able to be authentic with that. So you have to find a place in yourself where the music resonates and try to invite people into that space with you.
That's beautiful. I love that. I know our audience loves all of these, getting to hear kind of the inside side behind so many of our favorite pieces, whether it's musical theater or voiceover work. It's so cool. I'm obsessed with the behind the scenes that we don't always see. We get that perfected final product. Kristen has another great question. How does your entertainment work reflect in your work as the editor at large at Working Mom?
Thank you. That's a great question. It's hugely connected, because when I had kids, I had taken a kind of a forced break out of, and I had never done that before, out of the workspace. My entire life being someone who worked, I had to take a step back because I was unhealthy during my pregnancy. I had tough pregnancies. And so I had to take some time to heal and to make sure everybody got off on the right foot. And once that happened and I was able to come back, I had a lot more of an appreciation of the balance that moms have to create. And the fact that, it's not always easy to take a break and step back in. And, and you need the grace of being able to do that, or else, it's just a biological thing. We're the ones who have to bring them into this world and bond with them and get them off on a good start. And watching how parental leave is treated in this country, and how people are not necessarily all given equal access to that, and the ability to really start your family off right with, if both parents are in the picture, both parents should be able to bond with the child. And that really speaks to me as a mother and as somebody who's passionate about her work and never really wanted to stop working. But sometimes you're kind of forced to stop working because of the biases that are in the workplace. And, sometimes doors are kind of closed to you because of the biases in the workplace. And so, I like to address the working mother aspect of things from different angles. Those of, if you're passionate about what you do, don't let anybody stop you. Get in there and do it. Also, you have a family to raise, their responsibilities to being there for your kids and what that means. But part of that responsibility to being there for them is being authentic to who you are and modeling that for them. And so whatever that means, if that means being an at-home mom, be an at-home mom. If that means being a full-time boss lady CEO, then be that. But create the balance so that everybody gets a piece of you and that you're fulfilled as well. And that's not easy to do. And it's oversimplified, I think, a lot of the time. Definitely. So I think that's why I have always tried to interview women from all walks of life and women experts, but people who've written books, authors, people who are on the motivational speaking track, and then, and women in business, women in entertainment, all across the spectrum, because I think that at the end of the day, we're the only ones who, if we share our stories, we can normalize what we're feeling and how we're managing it. And we can help each other with different tools, because everybody's using different tools as they apply to their family. And you can only really be the mom and the wife and and that woman in your particular family. So one size does not fit all, and it can't be oversimplified. So hearing more voices, I think, helps all of us feel as though we're okay and we're doing the best that we can, and we're enough.
Mm-hmm. That's so beautiful. I love that you're, pointing to include how it is different for everyone, and that I think that there can be support in bringing all those diverse opinions and needs together. Similarly, I saw on your You Have a Beautiful website that all our viewers should definitely go to. I saw that you've done quite a few interviews on the topic of bullying. And with the school year just starting, it's totally up to you, but I wondered if you had kind of any advice you'd want to share, as like a lot of families are still getting into gear with this new school year.
Yeah, bullying has had a profound effect on my family. In my parenting journey, my family has been extremely disrupted by a bully and a violent incident. And I feel that as parents, we need to teach our children acceptance and teach them how to celebrate differences and not be intimidated by people who are different, not be scared by people who are different, not have a negative connotation. I think it begins in the home. If you talk to kids straight out the gate, they don't come out discriminatory. They don't come out, labeling people and deciding that they're going to not be someone's friend. These are learned behaviors, and by the same token, we can teach kindness. We can model kindness. We can bring that about just as easily as this opposite is coming out as well. So I think that in everything that I do and everything that my family does and everything that I'm involved in, I try to emphasize the fact that there's common ground to be found with everyone. There are universal themes to be found with everyone. And we are more alike than we are different. And the ways that we are different are beautiful. And we need to celebrate that. We need to embrace that. And as a parent, your first and foremost priority should be raising a kind person. And that should be your biggest source of pride, is raising a kind person, because that will snowball and it'll perpetuate itself. And the kinder we are to each other as a society, the better off we're all going to be. So do it out of selfishness.
Yes, I love that. I think that's a great pitch. I think everyone should do that. I love that. I think that's really beautiful advice with the school year starting. I do, you mentioned as well on your website how you've had a little bit of a transition into doing kind of more speaker situations or going on TV to talk about different topics. It sounds like, and I'd love to hear more from you, that growing up in the entertainment industry, I'm sure that you had a lot of skills kind of there already. You knew kind of how to present yourself and speak well, and you seem so comfortable on camera. Was there anything that surprised you that you didn't really expect, maybe having to transition to like being on daytime shows? That seems to me like it'd be really overwhelming, but you seem to have taken it like a champ. Like, what was that process like?
You know what surprised me about being on daytime shows is when I first met Hoda Kotb on the Today Show, how fast everything moved and how woven into what makes it onto the air she is, and how in control she was.
Wow.
I really loved that. And I thought that it was more of a machine and she's reading a teleprompter and, that kind of thing. But she was up in my business and wanting to talk to me and wanting to know how I felt about things and thanking me for my opinions. And I've seen that on a lot of these shows with these strong hosts. And I love that. I think it's great. That was surprising to me. I didn't think that. I thought it was more closely related to acting, and that you're kind of given what you're going to say and saying it. But I think that's probably why I've embraced it so much, is because I like being able to speak my mind and I like not having to stick to a script. I like being able to think and process and come to my own conclusions and work through things with other people. And I also love to hear other people's opinions and be flexible in mine, because I've found that, there are a lot, you don't know what you don't know. So the more people you speak to, the more you learn. And if you do that with an open mind and an open heart, there's so much room to grow. And, even if you don't think that there is, then all of a sudden, the more people you speak to, the more you realize, oh yeah, I did have some areas of growth there. And I'm really happy that I engaged in that.
Yeah, I love that. That's amazing. I've got another great question from one of our viewers. Any fun stories of revealing that you were the voice behind a character or song or jingle to your kids? What was that like?
I'll never forget the first time I was driving down the street and we were listening to the radio, and my kids were singing the ba-da-ba-ba-ba, I'm loving it jingle, and it was me that they were singing to. And they didn't know that it was me.
Oh my God.
It was so funny. And then another time we were at SeaWorld and I took them to see the Madagascar show, the live Madagascar show at SeaWorld, and that was me. And they were little at the time. They were like, I want to say like 4 and 5 maybe. And the older one kept looking at me and looking at the hippo and looking at me. And she started to put it together. It was so cute to watch in real time. It was hilarious. It was so funny. But I think the most fun thing is hearing them tell their friends and be excited about it. And when my son started watching Ben 10 and didn't realize that I was a character on Ben 10 until, he was all into it. And one day he's like, Mom, are you Kai? I'm like, I am Kai. He's like, I had no idea. And then through Working Mother, I got to take them to Warner Brothers Studios. So I grew up with Scott Menville, who plays Robin on Teen Titans, and they did their big Teen Titans movie. And Scott and I grew up doing Get Along Gang and Rainbow Bright and all these other voiceover shows together. And he's just a fabulous person. And so we were on the set of the Teen Titans on the Warner Brothers lot. And the kids got to interview him for their own little show. And that was the coolest thing, because they're like, wow, they get access to some things that other kids wouldn't get access to. And it's fun for them. It's eye-opening for them. And they can appreciate, what it was like to be a child who wasn't just doing her homework, who had these obligations and people relying on her and a job and professionalism. And it's been good to expose them to that so that they can understand what that takes.
That's amazing. I do want to tell our viewers, I can't believe it's already been half an hour. Please, to everyone watching today, go to that link at the bottom of the screen. Check out all our socials. We're like 70% or more to our goal. It's going so well. Kristen and the whole team, we're determined. We're going to reach our goal. We're going to beat it. It's going to be our best year yet. We're manifesting all of it. As a reminder, every $10 gets you an entry into the sweepstakes for 3 mystery boxes. Very nerdy, very fun, that Kristen's put together. And for the next 3 folks that donate over $50, you're going to get a MomBomb gift set. It's such a great brand. They do such amazing work to really support moms and dads who need that extra help, whether it's with groceries or childcare or housekeeping, all the things that, especially if you have any kind of serious diagnosis, are really, really hard to maintain and keep up with. And Bettina is here being a wonderful person and donating time to help us raise money for this charity. I wanted to go back to something from earlier. I don't know if this is a silly question, but I think our viewers might be curious as well. You mentioned how you, I'm not sure what the right word is, not quite voice double, but it sounds like with Jada Pinkett Smith, you would do, is it the voice for the merchandise? Can you explain a little bit more about that?
So an audition call will go out for voice matches. And a lot of the time when you have a celebrity who does a voice for an animated character, they're not always available to, they'll be on a set or they're in demand. And so they'll look for a voice match. And I was cast as the voice match for Jada back in, I want to say 2003, like a long time ago. And I've voice matched her over the years in many projects. And it's been so great. Because Gloria the Hippo is one of the most fun. The attitude and the inspiration you get from looking at the character, like she's just, and then listening to Jada's interpretation of her, it's just so brilliant. Being able to build upon that in my own way and being given scripts and having the people at DreamWorks trust me and having so many people trust me with such an important character. And sometimes they'll just be like, you know what, we just need 30 seconds of Gloria, just, go. And they'll give me a situation and I'll just go. And it's really great. And it's such an honor to be a part of that. But yes, that happens a lot in the industry where people are asked to do a voice match and you're not always credited. It depends, on what the situation is. Because sometimes, it's just to fill in some gaps when, something fell apart and so you're not doing the whole show, you're just fixing a few tweaks, but yeah, it's been doing Gloria over the years has been a really, really fun ride, and she's a crack up. She's just such a great character, and I always leave with a big smile on my face and like a little bit hyper I'm done voicing her
energy.
Yeah, because she's just kind of she gets your energy up and it's hard to come down.
Yeah. That's so cool. I love when we get to learn these behind the scenes things that you wouldn't maybe automatically know. I love that. Kristen has a great question. Speaking as someone who's very young in the entertainment industry, did you go to regular school or studio school? How on earth did you balance that?
Yeah, so in the 80s and the 90s, it was tough to do all of that. I pretty much always went to, so I started out doing kind of a hybrid. Like I would have a school that I went to and then I would dip out and do studio school and then come back and then dip out. Well, that didn't work at public school. They had zero interest in being supportive of that at the time. No. So then I would end up at a private school and we would have that work out and that would afford me the opportunity to still take part in some things like, electives like musical theater and things like that. But the more I worked and as my life evolved into middle school and high school, it just wasn't sustainable anymore. And so I ended up dipping out entirely and going to a school called Valley Professional where a lot of kids who were actors went. And we would, and on any given day, it would be any combination of kids that, were able to make it onto the campus that day, or they just came to pick up their stuff and go back to the studio. And, it was really fun to have set school. I loved it, loved it. Because you could go at your own pace and you had your studio teacher and, you could mess around and, and there weren't always other kids on set. Sometimes there were, sometimes there weren't. So, you'd look forward to, who's been, cast as the guest star today. And so you'd sit with the guest star and that was really fun. And I loved studio school, but yeah, most of my life was spent in studio school. I spent some time in regular school, but for the most part, it was mostly studio school. And I had, I was someone who had like a friend from each like walk of my life. Like I would have a friend from the dance studio, I'd have a friend from musical theater, I'd have a friend from elementary school, and I just kind of collected friends from different places, and they've been with me my whole life, and so I've been really lucky to be able to still have a social world. But I didn't do any of that, Friday night lights at high school football games and that kind of stuff. So it's kind of fun to watch my kids start to go into that phase of being in regular school and doing regular kid stuff and not balancing, 10 jobs.
Oh my goodness.
So, but yeah, it's different. It's a different way to grow up. I wouldn't change it for who I am, for the life of me. I chose it every single time. I would pass up a trip to Disneyland. I would pass up, pass up anything to work because I loved to work, and I still love to work. It's just, when and that's kind of how it was for me. And so it was, I don't feel like I missed out on anything. I've always been curious about, that kind of activity. So I do think I'll be living vicariously through my kids as they move through the regular high school American, phenomenon. But for me, it was okay. And I went to college, and, it was singing and had record deals and all that kind of stuff. But I also did rush a sorority, and I did, party with my friends and go to fraternity parties. And I ended up being able to create that kind of balance, which was really nice. And yeah, it's just a different life, but it's a beautiful life too, as long as you are able to keep things in perspective and not lose your way in terms of who you are. And I have amazingly grounded parents, so that kept me, there was never any chance of me not understanding that, we're not going to do all this, and we're not going to try things that, we shouldn't be trying. And I was around a lot of that. There's a lot of exposure to drugs and alcohol and all of those things. And but that just, I was raised to, I was not, Pollyanna. I drank, I tried things, but I never tried drugs. I never was into that. And I watched way too many people who were talented and beautiful spiral in that world. And it breaks my heart to even think about that.
Yeah.
It's a high pressure environment. So I see why the escapism.
For sure. Definitely. And that's wonderful too, having, grounded parents to lean on as well. I've got another, great question here. If, oh my goodness, Lucy Little, Dolly Dog, Rainbow Bright, and Megan competed in a pageant, oh my goodness, what would their talents be? Kristen, this is really clever.
This is very clever. All right. Well, Dottie Dog obviously would be a cheerleader. That would for sure be her talent. Megan would be an equestrian. Lucy Little would do speech and debate. Yeah, she would definitely be a debater. And Rainbow Bright, I mean, what wouldn't she do? She would do everything magical. I think she would be, I would have to say she would be the singer. She would sing.
I love that. Yeah.
I love that question.
That's so good, Kristen. I love that. This is a question I always love to ask guests, and you can interpret it as seriously or unseriously as you like. Do you have any kind of passion project that is not really in the works, but you'd love to do someday? If it's, we had folks talking about, this is a book that I really want to write, or I really want to see this turned into a movie. Do you have anything like that you want to throw out to the universe, see if it can manifest?
I love that. Actually, we just are in the beginning stages of getting the ball rolling on a children's album that is a Bettina children's album. That it's me doing the performing, and I want to pull from specifically Rainbow Bright. My experience as over the years of what impact she's had on people, and why she is meaningful, and why she still resonates to this day. And she's at her 40th anniversary, and I'm still getting the emails, and I'm still getting, thank yous. And So I really want to tap into the essence of what that's about and create a children's record that brings those feelings and brings that level of hope. And I think that that's timely. I think that hope is something that we need to have more of. And that's something that I have started writing and started working on. And yes, if we're manifesting something as my children's book that's already been in the works for a while now, as that begins to, it's got a published date of September. As that book tour starts, I would love to also have my album in hand and ready to play some songs for the kids, sing some songs to the kids, and provide them some inspiration and some hope.
Yeah, that's amazing. Our viewers definitely need to keep an eye out for that. Could you speak more to what your music process is? It sounds like you like to write the music, and clearly you've got amazing vocal skills. Can you just talk to us more about the music writing and creation process? Most of us, I don't have that kind of insider info with that.
Yeah, I love to collaborate. I feel like I'm a born collaborator. I love to go back and forth with someone else, and to, it's like the marriage of ideas and the coming together of, two different points of view. I just think diversity always makes things stronger. And so when it's more than one voice, it just makes it better. So I have a few people that I love to collaborate with. My favorite collaborator of all time is an artist by the name of Automatic. Bruce Vanderveer. We worked on so much together. My 2 songs that charted, he co-wrote, and one of them he co-wrote and co-produced with me. But the whole EP that went with that, he co-wrote and co-produced with me. And he's just an incredible human. And I'm hoping to wrangle his time and his talents. He's been with Sony ATV for years, and he's a very, very well respected and very well established man. But he gets me, and I get him, and I have not blown him up about this yet, because part of my process is I like to get my vision clear and just sit with myself and really get as many ideas out lyrically as possible, until it looks like a cohesive vision. And once I have that, then engage in the collaboration. But I don't want the collaboration to be when I collaborate, I want to come with an already established artistic goal. I don't like to just sit down and be like, "Oh, where are we going to go with this?" That's not how I am. I'm a very goal-oriented person. So I need to, even if the picture is very, very big and needs to be drilled down, there's got to be something to start to take shape first before I'll join in a collaboration with someone. And sometimes, that will dictate who you collaborate with, because some projects, speak to certain personalities better than others. So there's that. But I think part of my process is definitely involves the beach. I love the ocean. I go to the beach, I go to the ocean, I say prayers, I get centered, and I just get quiet, and then I just start to write. And I'll just sit and write all day, and I won't limit myself to, oh, this needs to rhyme, or I need to have a title, or any of that. I'll just write. And then I'll come back another day and I'll look at what I wrote, and then I'll figure out, oh, that's a title, that's a chorus, that's, and I'll start it'll all start to take shape. But I am a firm believer in just give yourself no limits, throw it all on paper, and see what comes out. Like puke all over the paper, and then clean it all up gradually. But that's me. That's what I like to do. And that usually works quite well for me. And then once I've got things a little more organized, that's when I'll pull in a collaborator and I'll say, okay, what are you hearing? Because here's what I'm hearing. What are you seeing? Here's what I'm seeing. And then we start to bring it all together.
That's amazing. Yeah. I can't believe it. We have a little bit over 10 minutes left. So I have a few final questions that I like to get in with all of our guests. The first one is, so actually just before you, we had Betsy Randall, a very famous mom actress, a lot of mom roles. And so someone asked us, so one of our commenters asked this, and I wanted to ask you as well. Do you have what's your best piece of mom advice? I know our viewers would love to hear that.
Oh my goodness, my best piece of mom advice. parent to the spirit you've been given. Not every child is the same. Not every child requires the same parenting. Don't be afraid to make a different choice for a different kid. And don't be afraid of what others are going to think of it. You've been given a specific soul for a specific reason. And there's something that only you can do for who they are. And so honor that.
Yeah, that's beautiful. That's amazing. I hope everyone's writing that down and taking notes. My other advice question, excuse me, that I love to ask is, what advice do you have for aspiring folks in the entertainment industry, whether that is voice acting or television? What advice do you have for kind of the next generation that is coming up?
I would say do at least one thing a day toward achieving your dream, no matter how big or how small, because there's so much rejection, there's so much competition, and there's so many ways to get in your head. There's so many things that can make you feel like, it's this unattainable thing. But if you take one step closer every single day, you're going to get there. Mm-hmm. And I think also, if you just stay true to who you are, that'll always, at the end of the day, because that's what you have. You need to be able to look yourself in the mirror. You need to be able to feel as though you're living your truth, and that matters. And you've got to stay strong in this business. And I think that being inauthentic eats away at your strength. And I think that that's a mistake a lot of people make. I also think you can't forget why you're doing it. It brings you joy. So don't forget to find the joy. It's so easy to forget that. And it's so easy to, again, get in your head or, take a rejection as personal, which it is not. Oh, it is not. It is so not. I can't tell you how many jobs, for all the jobs that I can list on my resume, how many jobs I didn't get. There's so many, and people don't see that. They just see your credits, and they just see, what you've done and what you've accomplished. And that's wonderful. But it paints this unrealistic picture that, all of a sudden, you just kind of walked down the yellow brick road and it was all just kind of there along the way. It was not. There were plenty of jobs that I was like, oh man, why wasn't that mine? Why didn't I get that? Why couldn't I have been her? I auditioned for Lisa Simpson on The Simpsons.
Wow.
A game changer, a life changer, a world changer. I can get it, and that's okay, because there were other doors that opened for me that were important for me to walk through. And, and there's always another one and another one and another one. But don't, just because you got that no and it feels devastating, don't stop, don't give up, and find the joy in the moments. And always be nice to the receptionist, and always be nice to the assistant, because those people will be running the agency before you know it. Mark my words, happens all the time. And you do not just suck up to the people who you think can do something for you. If you're a kind person, be a kind person to everybody. Be a kind person to your server at the table. Be a kind person to the host and the hostess. Just be a kind person, and that will come back and reward you. And even if it doesn't, again, you'll just feel good about yourself. And you're going to need all the opportunities to feel good about yourself in life that you can get.
Absolutely. I've got another question. Do you wish there were more episodes of Rainbow Bright?
Of course I do. Yeah. Of course I do. She's so great. She's so much fun. She's so uplifting, and she's so hopeful, and she's so happy. And I just, what a great character. Yeah, I would do a million more episodes of her in a heartbeat.
That's amazing. I am going to add in, since we have time, a slightly selfish question. I too love the holidays. I love holiday movies. I'm so excited that it's finally fall and we're going to have Halloween and everything and Christmas. Do you have a must watch holiday movie every year?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. What don't we watch? We watch all of them. But The Year Without a Santa Claus. That's my favorite. The Heat Miser and Cold Miser. The Miser brothers, they're hysterical. They're the best. They remind me of my childhood, but Mrs. Claus and all of it. That type of animation is something that you only get once a year. You only get it at Christmas time. You don't really see it any other time. But I love The Year Without a Santa Claus. That to me just screams Christmas.
Yes, I love that. I always appreciate when folks share those like TV guides for all the holiday movies, because you can't keep up. You could watch like 4 a day and not keep up.
Yes, exactly. Oh yeah. And now I'm a Hallmark fanatic. I love all of the love movies. My husband just understands that the channel's not changing. It's just going to be on for 2 months. You're just going to have to live with it.
You have to accept it. Yeah.
Oh my gosh. My son is just like, oh, it's another love movie. Yes, it is. It's another love movie.
I support this. Absolutely. Kristen says we watch Little Women every year. Yeah.
Oh, I love Little Women. That's a great
choice.
Yeah, that's a great choice.
And
the Sound of Music too. Love the Sound of Music.
My background is a picture of the painted backdrop in Sound of Music, so I'm so here for it.
Yeah. I love that. I didn't even realize that. That's fantastic.
Apparently there was a traveling like museum type show where they had all these like the actual painted backdrops from back in the day when they did that. That's and my friend sent me the photo. It's become my background.
Your friend gets you.
Yes, Linda, you're awesome. I know you'll watch this later. You get us. I do want to say just in the last hour, we're up to 74% of our goal. This is so exciting. Folks, please donate. There's that link scrolling at the bottom of the screen. Go to all of our socials. Kristen has been posting diligently. Go to our website. You'll be able to get all the information there. It's such a wonderful charity. And we love the crossover with Kristen, our fearless leader, works so hard to get all the fandoms here. And Bettina, I feel like you embody that so well. You've got so many different wonderful experiences you're bringing, including being a mom and really being supportive to other moms. I guess I'm trying to think what question we want to end on. We have just a couple minutes. So to our commenters, this is your chance to get your last your burning questions in. I'm looking at my list. And I guess what would you think is, so I know you're so talented. It seems kind of silly to ask you this, but do you have a secret talent that people don't know? Like people expect you to sing well, act well. Do you have like a hidden talent that you like to whip out, as your party trick?
Wouldn't that be great? Sadly, I don't really think. I think I've identified what I'm good at and I've focused on it, and I don't know. I don't know that I
I think most people would say, "Oh, I don't want a secret talent. I want to be able to sing like you." So,
I wish I did. I don't think I have a secret talent. I think what you see is what you get.
That's okay. That's amazing. And our producer is saying one of the gift sets has already gone, so we only have 2 left. If you donate $50, you will get that MomBomb gift set, which is amazing. Not only do they do amazing charity work, but the quality is so wonderful of the products they create. So definitely get that in there and donate. It is so exciting. I really appreciate you being here. So this is the last thing I like to do with everyone. I know that self-promo can be awkward sometimes, so I like to give our guests the floor. Tell us, where can we find you? Where should we follow you? Any upcoming things that you want folks to watch or see? We want to hear it all.
Sure. My website is bettinabush.com, and my Instagram is at Bettina Bush Official. And I have, I guess what is up and coming is I have a book deal, a publishing deal for a children's book, and actually a series of children's books that I'm writing with Keyshawn Johnson, the athlete and sports commentator. And we have focused together on creating children's books that are uplifting and that are motivating and let kids understand they can be who they want to be and create their own story. And there's nothing that can stop them if they decide that they don't want to be stopped. And so look for that. That's coming out in the fall of 2025. And I am also hoping to accomplish in enough time writing and recording a children's record to go along with that. And I will definitely, for sure, be sitting out on a tour in fall of next year to promote everything. So please, follow me, pay attention to where I am and what I'm doing, and come join me, come meet me, come support. And everything that I do is always to support strong families and people lifting each other up, celebrating differences, celebrating diversity, being kind to one another. And I just hope to continue to deliver that message in every which way that I can. And thank you so much for including me in such a special day. Congratulations on all of your fundraising. I think it's amazing. And keep it up. You guys are bringing more light to the world, and that's something I'll always be behind.
Thank you so much. It's so sweet of you to donate your time. So many wonderful people have showed up this weekend. I know the guests and all of our commenters have been having such a great time. So many of your roles mean so much to people. And I love, like you said, we've probably heard your voice and not even realized it was you. So it's so special to make that connection here. Thank you for sharing your time, your wisdom, your talent with us. I know that means the world. I'm going to keep saying it. Donate, friends. We're so close to that goal. We are determined to meet it. MomBomb is a wonderful organization that helps to provide grants to moms and dads who need it, especially if they get serious diagnosis or they need help with food, childcare, all those things that can really add up. So thank you so much, Bettina. We're going to transition to our next hour, but you've been amazing. Thank you so much. And we hope to see you again too.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye. Thank you.
Hey everybody, Jamie Kelly here. Hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, be sure to like it, share it, comment on the video, and subscribe to the channel if you've not already. And be sure to check out all of the videos in the 2024 online fan convention for Otherworldly Fundraising. And be sure to check out MomBombs and support them. If you can, check out the links in the description for all the relevant information. Thank you so much. And again, this is Jamie Kelly with EAP Society and Jack Life YouTube channels. And we hope to see you back here at Otherworldly Fundraising real soon. Take care, everybody. Bye.